So today we will start runtime permissions. So let me create a project on name of runtime permission. So runtime permission. So the runtime permission is nothing but here when we install the app. So it asks that what please allow contacts permission, please allow location permission. So those all are the permissions we can say have the runtime permissions. So how that runtime permissions will work, that we will see today. So for that here, now I'll take two buttons in XML. So here I'm taking the data binding. So this I'm changing as runtime permissions. So this is the layout I'm changing to linear. Right here now, I'll take one button, two buttons. I'll take two buttons. The button and ID. So ID, the basic one. So this width I'm taking as a match parent. So second one. So this I'll change as a request permission. So this I'll change as a check permission. So request and check permission. Right. So this I'll change as a BT2. Done. So once this project, once this properly loaded, from here we will start. So meanwhile here we will write that where binding colon. So activity. So activity main binding. So we'll handle nullify condition. Here binding equal to data binding util dot. So data binding util dot set content. So the next step here, we will write the listener for the both button. So binding dot bt1 dot set on click listener. So applied here on click list. Similar way, we'll apply the unclick listener for the BT2 also. Right. So button 1 and button 2 for both until this is applied. Here now I'll add one thing. So that is like a request permission code. So the normally for request permission, whenever that success we will use one code. So that is where so permission request request code. So this will normally for every time when permission is requested. So this is the code we'll use for permission request. Right. So this is the permission request. So here, so the first button, what we define the first button is the request permission. So for the request permission, so first we'll write for the check permission. So whenever the check permission is BT2 is right. So okay. Meanwhile, first we'll add this data binding so that the features that errors will clear. So data binding enable equal to true. So we will import this. The data binding tools. So first button is for the request permission. So first of all, I'll write for the check permission. So second button we write the check permissions. So here I'm writing simple one if condition if. So I'm using the one method called that is check permission. So check permission I'm using this. So simply check permission is means it is a true or false case, right? Normally it will treat as a true or case here. So here I'm writing the toast. So toast dot make text. Right this at the rate main activity. So here in case check permission is done. So here permission granted, permission granted. So next toast dot. So we will write the toast length. So toast dot so toast dot this we will import so that that will come automatically. Right toast dot length long dot show dot. So I'll copy this. So here and write the else. So else what should be here? Please request permission. So in case if it will come to this, it will okay. Otherwise, we are saying that please request a permission, right? So that is for check permission, right? Now we have to write for the request permission. So here, if not equal to check permission, so check permission, then within this here, we'll write that is a request permission, the request permission. So else permission already granted here, right? So now with this name and check permission name here, I'll create one method. So that is private fun. So request permission done. So one more method, that is this private fun. So this is the second one. So both I have created this. So this is the true or false. This is the Boolean. So we should create, this is the return type as a Boolean here, right? So both I have created. Now here I'll write the check permission. So what kind of permissions user has to check here? Like we will write some sample check permission. So that permissions we are supposed to write with the context of this. So here context compact. So context compact dot wait, it is not coming. Context so context compact, right? Context compact dot so check self permission. So that is this at the rate context. Here we have to write which permission, that is Android dot manifest dot permission dot. So what is the permission? First I'll write this access find location. So this is the one permission. So like this, I'll write 2 to 3 other permissions. Right, copy, paste. Okay, so for this, I'll change result 1, result 2, result 3, result. So total different 5 types of permissions I'm asking. So this permission I'll change as a camera. This I'll change as a read color. This I change the read contacts. This I'll change as a external storage. So this I'll change the read external storage. Like this kind of 5 different types of permissions I added here. So but here this is the this expecting as a return type here. So the return type in a return we used to pass this results. So result equal to, so with reference of this package, the permissions as granted are not, we supposed to check that. So for that here, the package manager dot, so package manager dot permission granted. So first result, and like here we can add for the next. So result one. Result two. Result three. Like means for all how many permissions we requested, for that many permissions we supposed to check here all the permissions granted are not done. So this is the permission granted or check done. Now for this request permission. So in a request permission, what are the request permissions? Those all are granted here or not. We supposed to check here that is activity compact with reference of the activity compact. Activity compact. So activity compact dot request permissions. So what are the permissions we are requested that we supposed to check? That is with reference of things at the rate main activity. Right now here array of. So with reference of the array, here we supposed to check all the permissions one by one. So that is Android dot manifest dot permission dot. So first one, what is the permission we requested? Active file test comma, like here all the permissions we supposed to check here. So I copied that. So next here camera comma, next here read call log, next here read contacts, next here read external store. Right. So all these, all the permissions we request. So finally, initially we added that permission request code on top, right? So that we have to declare. It means this is the success case. So this is done. So now what are the permissions we requested here? So that permissions we supposed to add in our manifest file and we have to go with that. Okay, here we forgot that this. Done. So in a manifest file, we have to add those all permissions. So users permission. So first one is the this is one users permission to read color, next users permission. So camera, next users permission. Access find location. Right. What is other permission? Camera read contacts. So finally, we have to add the read contacts. So users permission. So that is read contacts done. So for these two, these all are expecting something else. So we'll add that. Now we will run this and we'll see this output. So for this also it is expecting something. Okay, added that also. Now we will see this out. So this permissions are nowadays very important because initially without user permission, simply we can access the permission. But now until the user accepts that permission, we can say we cannot perform any action on that. So that's the reason here must user has to accept this permission. Then only we can able to do the next activity. Yeah. Line number 34. One request permission. Okay, here it is. Now it is clear. We can run. Okay, it is launching. We will see this output. Yeah. Oh, I think we not given the orientation. So orientation vertical. We'll run quickly. See, first I'm taking the permission. So it is saying that please request permission. Right now I'm clicking here. So it is asking the permission. So I allow all the permissions. So now I'm clicking permissions granted. Now, so I'll close the app. So from here, now if you go and here, if you can see in app level, see here the permissions. So these two, we say that ask every time. So that is one time. So now I'll clear this from the recent app. Right now, I'll try to open again and I'll check permission. The permission is already granted. Right now, I'm requesting. See, I completely closed and open again. So now it is asking again permission. Now we will see here in the app left. See now all the permissions as accepted here like so. This permissions as main and important here. So these permissions you can use in a multiple while login page like landing page initially itself you can ask one time permissions and the same code you can use on the respective like for example if you take the WhatsApp. So initially while installing the app it will ask the permission in case permissions has not given there. If you deny their permission again when you click on the share photo share document, so there it will ask the permission like either there or here you have to add the permissions. So in that way you can handle the both permissions in both places. So that is main and important here. The permissions granted is required. So this is about the runtime permissions. Right. This runtime permissions you can practice for today and tomorrow we will see the SQLite example.